Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Bright Balloon Podcast. My name is Sarah. I am a full-time balloon business owner, and I host this podcast to help you make more money and eliminate stress. And today we're chatting about one of the most stressful things in the balloon world that I don't think anyone's talking about, and that is photo organization. My camera roll on my phone is just full of balloon photos and family photos, and I can't find anything, and I'm sort of backing them up, but I'm not tagging them or sorting them. It's a mess. So I have invited a photo storage manager onto the show. Dion is going to chat about some of the strategies that we can use to preserve our photos, organize our photos, and get them off our phone and into a system where we can actually utilize them. So if you struggle with your photo management, today's episode is for you. Let's get into it.
Yes.
All right. Welcome to this episode, Dion. I'm so excited to talk about photo clutter, organization, categorizing, all the things that I'm so bad at. But before we jump in, give yourself an introduction. Tell us who you are, where you are, and a little bit about your business because you are outside of the balloon world.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. My name is Dion Marriott, and my business is Captured Memories Photo Solutions. I'm based in Lubbock, Texas, West Texas, but I do have clients that send me things from around the country and also work on Zoom with people. So definitely can do that as well.
Yeah. So photo storage memories, like what all do you tackle with your business?
So think about how simple it used to be when we just took a roll of film and you got it developed and you had 24 photos. Well,
Mhm.
it's not like that anymore. And so from I tackle everything from what is, all those boxes of photos that people have of film that they got developed to their digital photos, whether they're on flash drives, on memory cards, on floppy disks, CDs, any of that kind of stuff, to their phone, old computers, and then also home movies from reels to VHS tapes to camcorder tapes to phone
Holy
videos.
cow. Holy cow.
So,
So you do everything. So
yes,
everything from,
yes.
keepsake memories, um, to, we're business owners and you're also a
Mhm,
business owner. That's how we
yeah.
connected because you use 17 hats and as do I. Um, Specifically for business owners, I feel like we just have camera rolls full of never-ending photos, and specifically balloon people, we take, like, 30 pictures when maybe we could take 2, and then we also have no way to organize or find anything, specifically when it comes to digital.
Mhm.
Do you have any tips of where to even start? Like, I just have everything in my camera roll, and that's my strategy. I have nothing else besides that.
No organization from there.
Nothing.
So yeah. And that's a big problem. I mean, you can tell what people do for their business or for a living by looking at their camera roll.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a thing. Um, so what I like to do is talk to them about, okay, we have our business photos and then we have our family photos. And so I work with an online site that I have people upload their photos to. And then, we talk about what they have. And then I can categorize those. And I do that remotely so that, okay, this is your 2026 family photos. And then just based on what kind of business they have, we can organize and tag those according to um, what's going to meet their needs, and then they can go in and find those photos later. So,
Okay.
say if you've made a balloon display and you're like, oh, this is one of my favorite ones, and this is one I use for weddings all the time, you could have a category for weddings, and then you could pull that back up, and it would also make where you could have a good portfolio of the different options that you could offer to people.
So, would you recommend getting them off your phone? Is that your first tip of just, like, they shouldn't just all live on your phone? That should be your
No,
camera and then get them out of there?
right. Yeah. They really shouldn't all live on your phone because that's where people get in trouble if you lose your phone or if you're even just trying to find something on there because you're just scrolling back, trying to look through years and years of photos to find what you're looking for. and that's not presenting a good image to your client that you're trying to find something.
Yeah.
And so once we organize them, they're still in an app on your phone. So
Okay.
you can still show from your phone, but now they're organized. So they're
Okay.
not your camera roll. And they're in a place where you can say, "Oh, let me show you, the wedding album. Here's some wedding options." Or
Yeah.
here's some birthday options or, whatever different things that you have.
Yeah.
But they're not just all mixed in with your family photos and the photo of the shampoo that you were gonna buy and
Exactly, the
you know,
screenshots
the
and the e
screenshots
everything.
and all that. So, they have a system and
Yeah.
everybody has those kind of photos.
Yeah.
But it's just so much nicer when you can just pull up the things that you want to share with your client.
Right,
And then you
right.
can say, "Oh, I can enjoy my family photos too," and they're not all mixed together.
I know, and I mean, I think that's such a good starting point is separating the 2 because, yes, I'm,
Mhm.
like, trying to show someone an arch, but I'm like, "Oh, pay no attention to these pictures of my kids in the bathtub,
Yeah.
stranger," like, it's just it is all mixed in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what's the biggest thing that you see your clients struggling with? Like, someone who's like me, I have no organizational system, they're all mixed together, I don't even know where to start.
Mhm.
Like, what's the number one thing where you're like, "This is the biggest thing we need to tackle?"
Yeah. I would say they're searching for a certain photo, and they know they have it, and so they scroll back and they find it, and then they screenshot it.
Yes, I
So
do that too.
yes. So then when I finally convinced them that, if we would just get all these organized, you could find it easily. Well, then we have the original photo, and then we have the screenshot of the photo, and then we have another screenshot of the photo because they were looking for it again, you know. You know how we screenshot those photos that like we're going to share on Facebook and it's like our wedding anniversary or something,
Yes,
and then you have this photo and it's not dated right because you screenshotted it.
yes.
And so it's just kind of compounding the problem by doing that. And so if you tackle it as um, let's get everything backed up and organized, then you don't have to hunt for things. And
Yeah,
so that's where the frustration comes in.
yeah, absolutely. So tell me more about, like, this app, or maybe you have recommendations of,
Mhm.
if people aren't gonna work with you, you're like, I recommend this app for photo storage," and if they are
Yeah.
gonna work
Yeah.
with you, like, what are those apps? Because I guess I don't even know. I have, like, Google Photos, but, like,
Right.
again, that's kind of more of the same problem where, like,
Mhm.
they're all there, but I
They're all
can't
there.
search for something.
Well, the important thing that you want to think about is that so many of the times you're syncing your photos instead of backing them up.
Okay.
So that means if you delete that photo off of your phone and you're syncing it, then you've also deleted it from your cloud site.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And that's how most people have their settings on their photos. So, say your phone says you're out of room and you're like, "Oh, I'll just delete these because I have them backed up."
Yeah.
But you really just have them syncing instead of backed up.
Gotcha. So they're talking
Yeah.
back and forth. Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So you delete it off your phone, it deletes it out of your cloud site. And so the company that I work with to do that, and I have a page on my website that people can go to and, just click on it to set up an account. It's called Forever, but it is a backup of your photos.
Gotcha.
And so instead of it being like I upload photos and then I can go ahead and delete them off my phone because they're backed up
Okay.
securely. And then within that system is where we talk about how to organize so that you can find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Many of mine are organized just by year in there.
Okay.
And then, if you're like, oh, I need to find a picture from, when my daughter was born or when my son graduated or, whatever, you know what year that is. And then you can look for it. But then you can also organize it by people.
Okay.
So, that would really come more in handy on your personal photos. But, you can do it with, your balloon photos as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were to take me on as a client and I have
Mhm.
all these balloon photos and I'm like, I got to get them organized. W- Do we want broad categories? Do we want super specific? Like, how? Because I feel like the super specific then gets really overwhelming because it's like, well, it's a
Mhm,
wedding, but it's
mhm.
a balloon arch, but it's also blue, but it
Right.
also uses only foils. And it's like, how specific do we want to get? And what's the most useful? Quick pause because if you're running a small business and you feel like your brain is holding open 1,000 tiny tabs, this is for you. One of the biggest shifts that I've made in my business and that I've seen successful decorators make over and over is moving from doing everything manually to having a real system behind the scenes. That's why 17 Hats is our exclusive YouTube sponsor for 2026. 17 Hats puts your inquiries, contracts, invoices, questionnaires, emails, and workflows all in one place so you're not chasing clients, forgetting follow ups, or reinventing the wheel every single time someone books. Instead of asking, did I send that and what comes next? Your business just works. The best part, it doesn't make your business feel more robotic. It actually frees you up to do things that you are meant to do, like be creative, work with clients, spend time with your family, and all with less stress. If you're ready to stop duct taping systems together and start operating like a real business, head to 17hats.com to check it out. Once you have a system, everything else gets easier. All right, let's jump back in.
So do we wanna organize our personal photos or our business photos first?
Well, I guess that's another good question. I would say business. I would say my
Business, okay.
personal, like, because I'm more familiar with how old my kids were, I can go back and find that. Business, it's like, I know I did this thing, but I maybe
Mhm,
don't remember
mhm.
when. So how are we tagging? Where are we starting?
Yeah. I mean, you're probably not, keeping track so much of what year you did a balloon
Mhm.
arch, is that it's an arch. And so you could and it wouldn't really matter about the color because you could do whatever colors you wanna do. And so what I would say is, you get everything uploaded in one spot, and then you can go through and be like, "Okay, these are all arches. Let's tag that.
Okay.
These are all towers." Is that what you call it? Towers, I
Yeah,
think?
like columns,
Columns,
towers.
okay. Yeah. These are all columns, and you could tag all of those. And, if there's any, like, specialty things, like, this is a really popular one for weddings, maybe do that. And you can tag it with more than one thing
Mhm.
so that you could find it. So you just kinda have to think, how does your brain work as far as how you're going to find it again?
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
interesting.
instead of trying to tag it by the year, unless you've, like, made a major change in your business as to how you've, um, created your arches and your different things, I would say, tag
Yeah.
it by
And
what kind of stuff do you have?
as you're talking, I'm actually kinda thinking how I would actually do this, and I don't remember when I did things, but I typically remember where. So
Okay.
I think even tagging venues would be useful
Mhm.
for multiple reasons because then also if someone's getting married at that venue, you can be like, "Here are all the things we've
Yeah,
done in this
yeah,
actual space." I think that's cool.
yeah, that would
Um,
be a good idea too.
so then how help me understand and help all of us listening understand, how do we work with someone like you? Like, you said, I mean, people are mailing you boxes of old photos and VHS
Mhm,
tapes.
mhm.
Assuming everything is digital, I think there is that fear of like hiring someone to help you and like giving them access to all your photos, especially if your family and business ones are all like
Mixed
mixed
together.
together.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
how do you find someone that you're going to trust with that
right,
responsibility, and
yeah.
then how do you also like digitally collaborate on something like
Mhm.
that?
Well, first of all, I'm part of a professional organization called the Photo Managers. So if you feel more comfortable working with somebody locally, you can go to their website. It's just
Okay.
thephotomanagers.com and find somebody that is closer to you. And all of the people that are listed there are all certified members. So they've gone through the classes and vetting process. They've gone through the classes and vetting process to um, work with people.
Yeah.
And then as far as logging into your, um, like your iCloud and that sort of thing, sometimes I need to do that with people. And so,
Yeah.
there is a level of trust there on logging in, and there's a lot of two-factor authentication that has to happen. So it's like they have to be available so that I'm like, okay, I'm going to log into your iCloud so that I can download everything. And so you have to approve it. And, there's checks and balances
Right,
on
right.
that kind of thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's always
So,
people are like, "Oh, hire someone to do that." I'm like, that's
mhm,
not that easy to just, like
mhm,
where do you find someone? And then you just give them
right.
access to all your photos and trust that they're not, like, taking the pictures of your children and putting them somewhere, so I
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
I had no idea that there was that certification process. That's
Yes,
really cool.
yes.
What is that like? I mean, there's a balloon certification process, but, like, what's the photo
Right,
one? Tell me about
right.
that.
Well, it's been a while since I've been certified, so I've been in the organization since the beginning, about 16 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm sure that the certification process has changed, and we do have to do continuing ed after that. But you're actually working through a client project. You have to have recommendations, and you have to um, take a test. Like
Okay.
make sure that you're doing these processes like that you should be. And then you have an interview with someone at the association to make sure that they feel like that this is going to be a good fit. And you have to be certified to be listed on the website.
Well, that's interesting.
You have to go through your certification process to be
That's really
listed.
cool.
So you can't just say I'm a photo manager, and
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Is
have your own website, but to be on.
especially in this day and age,
Yeah.
is there, like, an ethical component to that?
Oh,
Like
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And we have webinars, all the time that we talk about, what are we gonna do about, if somebody says, they wanna, I don't want this person in the picture, but I want this person instead, and,
Oh,
that kind of stuff.
interesting.
Like, what are you willing to do? And, what do you not wanna do?
Yeah.
I'm sure with events, you have, weddings that maybe somebody wishes they had somebody out of that picture. and
Yeah. Oh,
and,
that's
uh,
funny.
um, I had one recently that, there's like an award ceremony, and like, "Oh, well, these people were there, these people were there, but I want all the people in the picture together." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
well, they were all there. So, we're not creating something that didn't really happen. They just
Yeah,
weren't."
right. You start, like, manipulating
Yeah.
reality. That's interesting.
So, I mean, we do talk about that, and we have a privacy course as well that we talk about because, we are in people's photos and
Yeah.
and their private documents, and
Yeah.
helping them to be more secure online. You probably know that people like to use the same password over and over again, and that's really a really bad idea
Yeah.
uh, for people to do. And so there's things that we learn about because we're working with digital that we are passing on to our clients about making sure that we're being secure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's really I didn't even think about any of that before this interview, but that's really
Mhm.
interesting.
There's a lot to
Do
learn.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any tips, maybe on the front end? Like, do you ever work with people and in your head you're just like, your problem is you take too many photos. Like, you don't
Mhm.
even want any of these. Or like, are we just obsessed with taking photos now that it's so easy? Like you said at the beginning, I think we all were a bit more careful when we had like our little disposable camera and there were
Mhm.
only
Mhm.
24 shots on there and it was like that had to last you the week of summer camp. I'm dating myself. But now it's like unlimited
Yeah,
storage and just take
yeah,
50 pictures. Like is there ever a case for just like take less?
there is. I mean, for sure. Have you ever been to a concert and people are like videotaping
Like
the
the entire
concert?
thing. Yes.
And I'm sitting there thinking, well, there's job security right there because people like film that and then they take lots and lots of pictures, but they're not enjoying the concert.
Yeah. My personal
And
pet peeve is, Disney World, people will film the entire firework display, and I'm just like, "Are you gonna, like, watch this? Are you
uh-huh.
gonna, like, sit on your couch and watch a firework show
Right.
for an
Yeah.
hour?" It's
Yeah.
so yeah.
So I mean it is some upfront,
Yeah.
about thinking about that. And but also thinking about, we used to pay to get that film developed. Okay.
Mhm.
And now people are, like, "Oh, I don't wanna pay for cloud storage." But I'm like, "Well, you used to pay to get the film developed.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and pay for the cloud storage, but let's curate what we have so that you can actually enjoy it."
Yeah.
And, since we talked about movies, we're we're curating the photos, but then we're also taking movies and putting them where they're streaming like Netflix.
Mm.
And so that's something else that we offer is being able to stream those things.
Oh,
But
cool.
all those little bitty clips that you have on your phone that, you meant to take a picture and you took a video instead, if you can just, get in the habit of deleting those little clips that were accidents
Yeah.
and keep the photo, but the one that you started the video and then you're like, oh, I meant to take a photo.
Yeah.
Uh, you can, delete those and just have a practice of cleaning up a little bit as you go.
I know. See, that's where I get so overwhelmed though. What is
Hmm.
a strategy again? I will be the case study. I've done none of this. There's been no organization, there's been no cleaning up along the way. So I have 20 years of garbage, that I'm
Yeah,
paying
yeah,
for cloud storage. It's all on there and like I are there shortcuts? Are there ways to just like delete duplicates or like
yeah,
go
yeah.
like what's a way that I can start cleaning up my wake of garbage that I've
Yeah.
created over the
There
last
there
20
are
years?
some ways that you can, like, merge the similar photos on your
Okay.
iPhone, and you can look at, let me look at all the videos at once,
Mhm.
and then let me look at all the screenshots at once so that
Screenshots I
you
know
can
is a huge one. You can just delete
you know
all of those.
that you can clean those up. Um, so, if you kind of consolidate some of the things that you have, that is always helpful,
Mhm.
uh, to do that part.
Yeah.
And then what else do we wanna do? We want to
Like, in terms of yeah, I guess going way back, like,
Mhm.
do I
Yeah.
set a schedule and every Monday I delete photos for 10 minutes? Like, I mean, how do you tackle this? Or do you
Well,
just
it's hard to do it when,
yeah.
when it's so many years. What if, and that's one thing we say was we organize your photos one bite at a time, just like how you eat an elephant.
Yeah.
And so if you're like, okay, it's 2026, I'm going to get everything done from the beginning of the year forward.
Okay.
And, then I'm caught up for this year. And then you can just, work your way back.
Yeah.
And the thing is, sometimes people they wait and then they have a crisis that they have a funeral they need to get things together for or something quick, and they're like, I got to do all this at once.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's why it's better to just do a little bit and just keep working backwards or just how your brain works. Maybe you're like, I want to start when I got married and move forward,
Okay.
or when my first child was born and move forward.
Yeah.
I had a client that I did baby books for her 4 kids, and, it's like that first kid, he's got more pictures.
Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. We're exactly the same. We got 1 a month for our first, and now our
Uh-huh.
second is 2, and we have none. We have printed nothing.
Oh, yeah. And I said, "Okay, let's do the oldest kid's baby book first, and then we'll make everybody else's match his as far as, well, if he sat up at 6 months, the next one, they probably sat up about 6 months too, you know? And so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just kinda make it the best you can.
Yeah.
Um, and,
Well, and then
your priorities.
let's talk about personal too, because again, I always say, like, even
Mhm.
though this podcast is about business, but it's like, it's all on our plates. Well, it's a lot of working
Sure.
parents they're juggling all the things. I think the thing that I'm worst at, and I think the most concerned about, is that I rarely get them off my phone to
Mhm.
look at. Like, they're all living in this digital world. What advice do you have for like hard copies? Like getting some of those photos out so we can either enjoy them in, I don't know, do people do scrapbooks? Do they print them? Do they have like
I do
what
photo
works?
yeah, and, like a hardcover photo book, is a good goal. A lot of families like to do an annual yearbook. So back to our idea about let's get 2026 cleaned up. If you get from January forward cleaned up, then, as you, continue through the year and you stay on top of it, then you're
Yeah.
where you can print it. And then you have, this is what we did in 2026. And you just tackle it a little bit at a time.
I know, and I need to do that because I feel like so my oldest is 6. So
Mhm.
I feel like I should start when she was born and just do 1 a year, and that I
Well,
mean, how many photos are you even looking for? 50? I think I took 50 of a ugly balloon arch that I made yesterday. So it's
uh-huh.
like it does kind of put in perspective how many photos you really
Right.
You really
And one
need.
of the really nice things that you can do with this site that I'm working with is that you can run facial recognition on the whole group of photos.
Okay.
And so, say you're like looking for your oldest kid, and it goes through the whole set of photos, and it doesn't tell you who it is. It says this is all the same person.
Okay.
Who is it? And then you label it, and then maybe at a different age she looks a little different, and then you can say, "Oh, that's also her,"
Yeah.
and so you can group them together, which is really handy for making sure that, the kids are equally represented
Yeah.
in the book. Um, that's always a challenge too. Some kids are in there more than others because they're always jumping in front of the camera. Uh, and then from there, you'll be able to put all those, you've got a curated collection then.
Yeah.
And then doing the annual albums, all online, order it. It comes and it's a coffee table book, and your kids can pick it up and look at it.
Yeah. I feel like that's
So
such a good goal because it's, like,
mhm.
tangible and it's something you can do once a year and feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it almost takes the pressure off of, like, what if I lost all my photos? It's like, well, at least I have something, you know? I feel
right.
like the fear used to be like, what if my house burns down and I lose all these photo albums? And now it's like, it's the reverse, you know? It's like, what if something
What if
horribly
you're
wrong
yeah,
happens and literally I
yeah.
have no photos of my family?
Yeah, and we're also addressing the photo albums too, because
Yeah.
people that did do the scrapbooking, back when that was popular, which is where, I got started with that kind of thing, is that I've gone through and started scanning all of those so that I have, a backup, an archive of that,
Yeah.
and I have that where I can pull it up on my phone, and, if I ever needed to reprint those, I would have them.
Yeah. I know that'll be my next wave because my parents, once they move out of their house, I'm going to inherit like 5 billion hard copy photo books, because my mom would print the
Mhm.
roll of film and keep every single photo, and it was just
Right.
and doubles. So it's like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
15 photos of me sitting on the toilet as a baby."
Yeah. And that's, shows kind of who I'm working with. It's like the baby boomers are downsizing, and so they're passing those things on. And I worked with families that like this is what the kids do for the parents for a
Yeah.
gift.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
okay, we're gonna it's really good for the kids if you want to know the truth of the
Yeah.
matter. Is because, the kids go together and like let's let mom and dad get their photos organized for Christmas.
Yeah, right.
And, then we can all enjoy them.
Yeah, and none of
And
us have to
so
keep these 50 albums on our
that's right.
shelves.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, remind us where we can find you. Let's wrap up, but, I mean, I know photo organization is it's a huge issue in our industry. So
Mhm.
I'm sure people will want to learn more about you, about the website you mentioned where the other, professionals are all certified. Where can we find you and get in touch?
Okay. Sure. You can go to my website. It's at capturedmemories.biz. And there's a button that says get started. If you click on that, it asks you, some your basic information and asks you, do you have printed photos, digital photos, VHS tapes, slides? What do you have? And and then after you send that, you get an email back, thanks to 17 Hats and their automation, that will give you kind of a little bit of a starter game plan as to how
Okay.
to organize what you have. Because, like you said, it's hard to tackle everything at once.
Yeah.
And so I have a document that I send out that's like, okay, here's how to divide what you have so that you can tackle it a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And you're not, um, you know, kind of starting and stopping all the time. You're getting it sorted out into different categories. And then you're like, okay, now the first thing I'm going to tackle is, say, the home movies. What a lot of
Yeah.
people like to do. I'm going to tackle that first. And then, that gets the clutter out of the way. And then I move on to the next thing, which is I
Yeah.
like to have people do digital next.
Yeah. Gosh, you
So,
must have the
um,
patience of a saint. I would lose track of other people's pictures and be like, "Welp, I quit."
well, that's why we take notes, right?
Yeah. That's amazing.
So,
Well, you've motivated me. I came into this interview thinking I was gonna get motivated to organize my business photos. But quite honestly, I'm excited to kind of get my personal ones
Mhm,
under
mhm.
control and
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
I've accomplished that. And
So,
then,
a baby book for your 6-year-old, right?
yeah, I know, right? No,
Yeah.
she's the one who has like 30 of them. It's the
Okay,
2-year-old who needs one.
okay. Well, hey,
But yeah, yeah.
we can do both, and then we'll make them look like they match,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they'll be, like, all happy that they both have a baby book.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, I love it. I feel very inspired and motivated to get my photos
well, good.
under control. And thank you so much for taking the time to chat through this with us.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's great to be
All
on
right.
with you, Sarah.
All right. Thanks so much.